Howdy folks, and welcome back. My name is John, and today I'm going to show you a DIY for building soft boxes for your flat panel LED video lights. In the previous video we showed you our TL600S video light kit, which came with 2 units, each unit having 600 LEDs, white LEDs only. Some of the units come with a mix of 300 white and 300 amber. I just wanted white. I just wanted as much white brightness as possible. And when we initially set them up and test them, I just noticed it was a little too harsh in most cases. If you weren't going full blast, it was okay. But when you get over 50-60% with no diffusing in front of it, it got kind of harsh on your eyes. It was kind of hard. And trying to test on my family, they were all like, get out of here, it's too bright. So that's what I was reduced to. So we decided to make some kind of softbox. I may have mentioned previously that you can buy softboxes for the specifically, they make soft boxes for the Yongnuo. I think it's the YN600, which is virtually the same thing. I'm sure it would fit. But those were like $28 to $38 a piece, and I just wanted to see what we could do with some regular household items. The bulk of our softbox is going to consist of these little file hanger folders. This is what you use in your filing cabinet. It's got the little metal rails along the leading edge, what you hang your papers or other manila files inside of, so you can have some organization in your filing cabinet. I thought it'd be a good idea because it's got the metal in the edge, and I thought it would be a nice sturdy piece for the outside of the softbox when you go to attach your diffuser material to have something more solid than just paper. I was either going to do this or plastic or wood, and I didn't want it to be heavy. I wanted it to be as light as possible, shy of, buying an actual softbox that's built for the unit. So this is the surface area of your softbox. You're going to cut it along one edge, and you're going to use 2 of these to make one softbox, and I'll show you in the other videos on how that's done. This is diffusion material that I bought at Walmart. It's basically a shower curtain liner. I've done it with the regular shower curtain, the plastic shower curtains before, and sometimes it comes out a little funky with just using the plastic. It'll work, but this liner I think made the light a little bit softer. It's a little bit more translucent than the regular plastic. This is kind of woven together. I mean, it is plastic, but it's not the regular, solid plastic, if you would, liners. So this is the shower curtain liner, which isn't exactly waterproof, but you can see it's kind of nice, light and even, and when you get the light on it, it comes out pretty sharp. And this is the final product. I just wanted to show you what it looked like. Once we were done, we just slightly spray painted it on the outside to go from the green of the file folder to the black, and there's the diffusion material put in place. We had a lot of the box itself was actually really easy to put together. In the beginning, it's a bit of a hassle, a bit of a pain in the ass. If you've got a second set of hands, it may prove to be helpful, especially when you're trying to get it centered and fold it in just the right spots. But once you got the basic shape down, I cheated for the second one. I just used the first one as my template and made all the bends and folds based off of that one. So the second one went right together real easy. The project probably took me about 2 to 3 hours altogether, from very beginning to very end. I will say that the diffusion material, getting that the right exact size and getting the Velcro onto it was a pain in the ass. That sucked more than anything else in this project. But if you're patient, you will prevail. A lot of people might not even go with the Velcro for the translucent material. They may just put it on with a couple of clips, and now I'm sure that'll be fine too. So on the remainder of the video, we'll show you how we put them together. Okay, so let me show you what we're going to use to make the softbox for our LED lights. As mentioned before, I'm going to use the as I mentioned before, I'm going to use the green hanger envelopes, folders that you use in filing cabinets. So they have this nice piece of metal on the leading edge, and that'll help make the square of our softbox nice and square and sturdy. So I'm going to use 2 of these. I'm going to cut it along the bottom edge, and you'll see in a moment. I got several kinds of different Velcro. This is extra strong Velcro, which I may use to attach to the LED light or not. I'm not sure how I'm going to attach it exactly yet. It'll be an adventure we explore together. I also got some thin Velcro, which I imagine I'm going to use to attach the fusing material to the softbox, scissors, a pair of cutters, a pen or a marker. I got some fishing string. I'm not sure if I'm going to need it or not. I got some ideas about that. Of course, duct tape. And you know what they say about duct tape? If you can't fix it with duct tape, you haven't used enough duct tape. Also, tie wraps. I like these little tiny tie wraps, the little white ones, and you'll see why in a moment. I'm going to do a tighter shot and zoom in on my table here so you can see how I'm actually trying to put this together. So here's an example of one I already put together. You'll see that I got tie wraps on the steel little ledges that hang over into the file folders. Keeps it nice and square on the front. You see how it funnels into the back, and along the edges that I folded, I just used my duct tape to hold it in position. I'm going to put aluminum foil all over on the inside and probably spray paint or some kind of paint on the outside to make it black. And then, okay, so for my first step, I'm going to take my little hanging file folders here and cut them down the bottom edge. I'm not worried about making it perfectly straight because we're going to trim it all up once we're done. But I try to make it as straight as possible. Try to get one piece up and one piece below so I can cut it as straight as possible. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect at this point. Just putting it into manageable pieces, and each one of these pieces, now 2 pieces, is going to be a side to our softbox. And we'll cut this one as well. And of course, we'll fast forward through most of this. So I got 4 pieces. 2 pieces are going to be top and bottom, and then 2 pieces are going to be left and right. I think I'm going to zoom this out a little bit. Okay. So what you do is you lay your light, your LED lamp, light, whatever you want to call it, down on a nice flat surface. Then we're going to take one piece and center it along the side, and then another piece and center it along the top or the bottom. And you'll see that these pieces are actually longer than both the width and the length of it. What we're going to do is kind of like wrapping presents. Is we're going to put it in the middle and then kind of fold it over the edges and then make a crease of some kind there. So the point is the bottom of our softbox is going to be smaller than the top of our softbox. And then we do the same with the sides, which is going to have a lot more meat along the edge. So when we center it and hold it there, kind of get our little creases going, like so, and then we'll try to imagine that folded line going straight up. And you don't have to fold it perfect now, just kind of get your cardboard or paper or whatever you're doing to have a memory, so to speak, of what that may be. And then that was one side. And then I'm going to do the same for the top and or bottom. I'm going to center it with the bottom at the edge against my surface, and then just kind of start a little fold. Again, just like kind of wrapping a present if you've ever gift wrapped it or anything. And then just kind of kink a little memory in there. And now comes the hard part. Okay, so after much cussing and fussing, I was able to get it together. I wasn't going to bore you by showing you all that. This is basically the outline of my softbox. Now you'll see I took the metal tabs at the end of the folders, and that's what I used my tie wraps for. I just tie wrapped them together. And that's really what I started with. I took the 4 pieces, tie wrapped these together, and then kind of melded it around the edges of my light box. So I laid it down flat like that, and it takes some screwing around to really get it But my point was I made it tighter than the actual box, so the softbox can't just go over the top. What I'm doing is I'm making it so the light has to go inside the softbox, like so. And I'm going to use some pieces of Velcro for the sides and maybe on the top, and maybe one or two along the bottom. But one thing I do want to show you is you're going to have to cut out a piece on the bottom so you can get to your 1/4 inch adapter or mount or whatever you have on the bottom of your light. Also, you see, once I was done putting it together, that the bottom rather is uneven. So what I'm going to do is I'll take a pair of scissors and straighten that out. So to straighten it out, my file hangers actually have lines along the bottom. I think these are creases to allow you to fold these folders. So before we were interrupted. So there are lines along the bottoms of the file hangers that allow you to fold them into different thicknesses for however thick the material is you're hanging it from. So I'm going to kind of use these lines as a guide. I just really want to square this off without taking too much meat off. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow this one line that I got going all the way around. A nice little way to test is to lay it flat on the table and see if it's somewhat squarish. Again, this doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but you want it to be as even as it can to the front. You want the front of this to be as even as it can be to the bottom of your light source, which happens to be the LED lights. So I think I'm happy with that. The next step is to figure out how we're going to mount this to the light. Okay. So to mount the softbox to the LED light, I'm going to use some super strong Velcro. I don't have a lot of pieces of this left over, but I do have 3 pieces, so I'm going to fashion it 1 piece per side, 1 piece on the top, and maybe 1 piece on the bottom. But for every piece I put on here, I gotta have a corresponding piece on the softbox itself. So these come in little like 2 or 3 inch strips. So I'm actually going to cut it long ways and then try to use 1 strip or maybe 1.5 strips. So usually I like to use a razor knife on these, but I'm too lazy to get up and I'm just going to use my scissors, cut this down the middle. And being careful not to let the protective film on the back come off until I'm ready to stick it on. This is the 3M Duralock. You see it right on the back. Velcro. It's super, super strong. It's the same exact kind if you're familiar with the Easy Pass tags and windshields and how that thing is impossible to take off on it. It locks together tight. I actually wish I had something not as strong as this, but I'm going to cut it into little pieces and hopefully it won't be so strong that I end up ripping the damn thing when I take it apart. So like I said, I cut it long ways, then I'm going to stick it together. And then I think I'm going to cut this into 3 little pieces, 3 even pieces. Let's see what that gets me. So at least with 3 pieces, and sticking them together allows you to just make 1 cut for 2 of the pieces at the same time. There we go. So now by sticking it together long ways, I cut it long ways first, folded it over, stuck them together, and then cut it 2 times to give me 3 pieces. And now I have the proper corresponding piece. So I'm going to take the sticky back off. And stick it to the middle of one of my sides, while leaving its mating piece on. And you'll see why in a minute. I'm only going to peel the mating pieces when I got the unit inside, sitting squarely exactly how I like it, before I commit to sticking it together. Same thing for this side. the same thing up top. I'm not going to worry about the bottom too much for now. If I need a piece for the bottom, I'll add it later. But I figure the bottom's just going to rest against the face of the unit anyway. And there's one up top. Now, like I said, this super strong Velcro has got some pretty good adhesive on it. So once you stick it and press it a little, it's there for life. Okay, I got 2 of my Velcro pieces on, and now I'm doing the last piece. I just want to show you a little trick I taught myself. It's a pain in the ass to do by yourself. If you got an extra set of hands, it's going to be way easier to do, but you know, just getting the centers to line up and match and make sure. One thing I want to point out, if you do this, make sure you don't cover up your ventilation slots. It's very important. This thing could easily overheat. I mean, it's not really a hot light. It doesn't get really warm, but you know, if you're outside in the sun and you're running it for long periods of time, the internal could get warm. So I was down to my last piece and I couldn't really get my fingers in here to undo it. So I took the corresponding piece off, peeled the back side, and now I'm gonna slightly sit it in there and then match it up as even as I can and then press it on. That way it's square and it's exactly where I want it to be. Give it a good press and there you go. That's it. So obviously I got a little bit more work to do. I'm going to put some aluminum foil on the outside, trim things up a little bit, and also don't forget, cut your little notch for your quarter 20 connection or whatever kind of connection you have on these lights. Some of these lights have connections on all sides, so you may have to cut notches in other places and move your Velcro around or however way you decide you're going to attach it. So I just finished trimming out my bottom piece for my quarter 20 notch so I can attach it, and just wanted to show you what it looks like. Of course, when you slide it in and connect the Velcro, then that'll allow you to open up your barn doors, and that's what the light will look like once it's inside. My next step, as I mentioned before, so I'm going to line the inside of this with some aluminum foil using a glue stick, and then we're going to put Velcro on the inside lip of this so we can attach our diffuser material, which we'll cut out of our shower curtain. One note, I'm not sure if there's a white diffusion panel that's already on the LED that I normally just leave in place, kind of like the white gel, which is to help diffuse. I may or may not leave it in, I don't know. We'll do some testing once we're done to see how it looks. So for the next step, aluminum foil. All right. Okay, there were 2 things I didn't show you in the very beginning that you're also gonna need. Some kind of glue and some kind of aluminum foil. I was using cheap foil wrap, you know, store-bought aluminum foil, and some craft glue. I couldn't find the fatter bottles, which I like better, but I was going to use this to wipe the inside of my softbox and then place the aluminum foil. I've tried this on other softbox where I've tried to cut this perfectly and fit it in so it's nice and smooth. I've never ever been able to do it that way. It always comes out crinkled. So now I don't even try so hard to make it flat. I just try to make it as smooth as possible. It's always going to be crinkled in some way, shape, or form. But I'll show you how I struggle with it, and of course we'll try to fast forward through that. One thing I want to point out is make sure your inside is good and taped up. If you see any loose spots like I got here, you just want to make sure they're good and taped up, because once you got the aluminum foil in place, it's going to be too late. So I'm going to add some more duct tape on the inside of mine to just make sure it's good and strong. And the point of the aluminum foil is to help brighten the light and focus the light. Obviously the softbox is going to direct the light and none of it's going to get out of the outside borders, but the aluminum foil will be nice and reflective and help keep all that light bouncing forward. Now, before I start with my aluminum foil, I just want to trim my little tie wraps on the edges here. I may want to do something to soften these edges, because they could, you know, catch on things and maybe cut something, but for now I'm just going to trim my tie wraps and deal with that last. Alright, before I start laying any glue down on the inside, I'm just going to pull out my strips of aluminum foil and try to get it to the rough same size. Pull the sheet like so and stick it in there. Try not to get too many fingerprints all over it, at least on the side that's going to be glued down, because that'll make it least likely to stick if it's got your greasy fingerprints all over it. So I'm just going to lay it in like so, shape it. Like I said, I'm not too worried about the wrinkles, but I do want it to overlap. So on the inside, I got the sheet in, and you see up on the sides from the bottom, as opposed to where it is, I got it coming up a little bit on the. All right, we'll see what we can do. All right, so on to the aluminum foil. I had cut my sheet, and now I'm going to put glue. Stick glue all over on the inside and cover it up nice. Said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just want it to be functional and to look nice. I guess you want it to look somewhat nice, but at the end of the day, it's about quality of the light. That's what we're shooting for. I'm actually shooting this now with one of my LED lights, two of my LED lights, my little 126 and my 600. Looks like my little 126 is running out of juice. To change the battery soon. So there's one side. See how easy that was. Hopefully you can see it. Hard to see all the way across the room. So there's one side. I'm going to do that to the other three sides now. Okay, we're back. Just wanted to show you the progress that we made. Spray painted them a little bit black, just a little bit, since they're made out of paper. You don't want to oversaturate them. Got the whole inside lined with aluminum foil. For the 2 boxes that I made, I went through them with 2 whole of them little tiny glue sticks. I also super glued the Velcro on the inside lip. And you'll see that I set it in about 1 inch, because I want the outside lip to give me a little bit of direction. Kind of like the real softboxes do, where they're always inset where you put in your diffusing material. The next step will be to cut out my diffusing material. I do have a white shower curtain, just a regular plastic shower curtain from Walmart for like $4. And then I'm going to put the opposite end of the Velcro onto the shower curtain and hopefully cut it the right size and make sure it's tight enough. And then we'll do a demo and show you what it all looks like. Alright folks, here they are, fit. I got one sitting right here, shining light on me, and there's one lit here. I only got this one on 10% so I don't blow out the camera. They came out pretty good, not bad there. I think they're diffused just the right amount away from the lights, not right up against them like some of the ones I saw online were. and I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. Full disclosure, I could not get the Velcro to fit onto the diffuser the way I wanted. I tried crazy gluing it, and then I tried sewing it, so I ended up just using bobby pins. I'll probably try something else later on down the road to just tighten it up, because right now you might not be able to tell, but it's just sagging a little, and I didn't do it on all four sides. I just did it top and bottom for now for the ease of use and get this video over with quicker. So I just wanted to show you what they look like once they were all done, and yeah, they kind of look nice. Spray painting them wasn't too bad. I didn't want to get them super wet because you know how paint and paper goes, but just a light coat just to take the dinge out of it, and it came out great. The light is really, really soft. It looks really, really good. I can just tell by looking at it on my hand. I'm going to do some additional tests once I get back out into the studio and get them a little bit further away. Right now they're right on top of me, obviously, so it looks well. But I think they'll do good even a few feet away, you know. Usually they tell you that the distance of the size of the softbox should be proportional to the distance away from you. So if you got a 2-foot softbox, it should be at least 2 foot away from you or closer, so that kind of thing. But I don't know, we'll see how it goes. So that's it. My name is John, and thank you so much for watching. Howdy folks, just wanted to give you one more mention about these soft boxes I made. I went ahead and put the Velcro on all four sides of the diffusion material. I did have a hard time figuring out how to do that. At first I tried to crazy glue it, but the crazy glue just made a mess and really wouldn't stick to anything. And then I thought I was going to sew it, but that was going to take damn near forever to do all four strips on each diffuser, and I am making 2 soft boxes, or did make 2 soft boxes. So I decided to try some silicone glue this morning, and that seemed to work. I got them in there now. It's not fully dry because I'm kind of trying to rush it, but it is working and they do look nice. I got the 2 lights set on me right now. The fill light on my right here is about 40%, and the key light is about 60-70%. They're about 2 feet away from me, roughly. And I think it looks nice. I think the shadows look nice. I'll do them one at a time. I'll shut off the fill light. Show you the shadows at least. Like I said, the nice soft light from this, it just wraps around it, you know. I wouldn't even really need 2 lights in this situation. A fill card or a bounce or anything over here would be sufficient. Or if that's the mood I was going for, it's what I would shoot for. But I do like it. I think it's great. I would like to shoot something bigger than just a headshot. I want to video something in the near future to see what that would look like and to see how much these soft boxes would really put out for me. Like I said, they're only about a foot square right now, so it is bright light, it is good light, but up close, if I bring them far away, it's going to get a lot harsher. But I also like the boxes because it helps direct the light. It helps capture everything and really focus it. Kind of like a snoot, if you would, but a big one for the size of these lights. So I'll show you some pictures of the final product next, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you.